Okay, big dogs, we're back. Got the car, so I'm happy. And now today I thought I'd show you guys. Well, not really sure. Well, yeah, we'll go through it, but I'll just explain to you a little bit about the clutch that I brought. So I brought pretty much as far as I could find, like the strongest organic clutch on the market. So that's your traditional full face, what everybody expects when they picture it in their head, just like a round sort of clutch, basically, not a paddle clutch or anything like that. So yeah, so this one that I got was an ACT organic extreme. So I chose the strongest pressure plate because this will take about 600 foot-pounds of torque, and the torque is what's going to kill the clutch and stuff. And yeah, bought it sponsored by my own bank account as per usual. So yeah, what did set me back? Maybe just under 700-ish pound, if I can remember correctly. Now everybody raves about the pink clutch and stuff. Now this Impreza, I had a pink clutch before, you know, the XZE pink clutch, whatever they call it. But that thing, if you read into it, right, it's only rated to like 350 foot-pounds of torque. And generally most cars with a mildish tune aren't doing that. So yeah, perfect clutch, nice and soft, great for you every day. But if you're on it and you ride pretty heavy, you're gonna blast through that thing quickly. So what did I my pink, I went through it pretty quick. I found it slipping. I was like 350 brake before, just under 400 foot-pounds of torque, and it slipped like when you got on it pretty hard. But the difference is the drivability factor. Let's say day to day, if you're dailying it and you sat in traffic and stuff like that, yeah, it's much easier to live with. And that's what I'll describe to you now about the feel of this clutch. If you've ever had the best way to describe it is the standard, that XZE, like a standard STI clutch. I would say this thing is roughly 3 times, yeah, I'd say like 3 times harder with regards to the pedal pressure, like to get the clutch in. Because the XZE pink like clutch is very, that pressure plate's nice and soft, so it's very, very easy to press in. Even in comparison to the WRX, I'm talking about that. I've only owned the hatch models. I've had the hatch WRX and the hatch STI, so I can't talk about the others. But the hatch WRX is a pretty hectic clutch in it, so I'd say it's about twice as heavy as a WRX, but 3 times as heavy as the standard like STI or that XZE pink clutch. Like 3 times as strong, 3 times as hard pedal pressure. Now, if you do what I sort of do when you, like, I'll neutral and like have my clutch in and stuff like that when I drive generally, and like if I'm stuck in traffic, well, your driving style will change because you'll get some serious cramp. It's pretty hectic. But it's not undrivable though, so it's pretty impressive. Like I was quite impressed at how it wasn't as heavy as I expected. Like everyone freaks you out of how heavy these things are. Generally I gym and I'm like average strength and stuff like that, so with regards to legs and stuff too, I mean you'd have to be like extremely weak. Sorry, is there something coming past? It might be noisy. Yeah, so you'd have to be, I'd say, extremely weak to find this unbearable. Would I want to do my like London trips in traffic and stuff in it? No. Okay, so what we're gonna do is I'll obviously have everything turned off in the car, fans off and everything. You'll try and hear for the sound. Oh, another thing I didn't mention is I did the ACT clutch, extreme like pressure, the strongest organic one they had, and I did the XZE bearing, the throwout bearing. So I put that in because that is way more reliable than they reckon the ACT one is. I just heard that, and I mean, for the price that you pay to get the clutch and that installed, I just thought, for bugger it, I'm just going to put the other XZE bearing in and just be done with it, because I don't want to be pulling a clutch out because the throwout bearing's gone, because that would just do my head in. So yeah, so I'm going to drive it off. I'll switch to head cam, and then you'll try and hear the noise. Like, I don't think it's very noisy at all. Like, but it's pretty noisy car anyway. If you've had one, it's not a German solid, no road noise type car. So I don't really. Can I feel a little bit back through the pedal? Yeah, probably, because it's maybe doesn't feel as smooth as the XZE, if I'm being like 100% honest. But it's negligible. It doesn't mean any. It's not something you're gonna notice. You have to be pretty hot like the feel of your car and stuff, like it's not going to bother you too much. It does feel like slightly rougher. Are you going to panic if you're just used to OEM? Well then yeah, don't bother getting another clutch, mate. But if you are going to run anything with high torque, you need to change your clutch. And if your budget is limitless, then obviously you're going to go twin plates or triple, you're going to go twin plate clutch or something if you've got $2,500. I didn't have that kind of paper at the time. So yeah, so let's less talking about it, and I'll try and go through it. We'll do a couple of, I'll also take you through the modes too. There's like 3 sort of driving modes. I would recommend that you're always in sports, like the fastest, like your car's full engine power. So that's like sport sharp on mine. So all the way, I always drive like that anyway. But when I was running it in, I wouldn't want to really drive this clutch if I had a choice. Again, I wouldn't want to like bed this clutch in whilst I was bedding in the engine, because that was a pain in the butt, like seriously a proper pain. Like it's just irritating. But I'll pull you off in the slowest, because that's the other issue. The different driving modes can sometimes make the clutch like not happy. So that's why I'm always in sport sharp and all that kind of stuff. So I've got max responsiveness from the engine, and then when the clutch does go and I drop the clutch out, it doesn't bog down and stall and stuff like that. Because if you run in the other modes, you'll see. I'm going to try and exaggerate it too. I'm just going to try and show you real world scenarios here. Okay, and then hopefully you can hear the noise back and stuff. I'll have everything turned off. But yeah, I'm just trying to be like as realistic for you guys. And if you're running a high brake horsepower car, go for the clutch. I haven't had any issues yet. We'll maybe try and get on it in some roads. I'll go somewhere where there's like a closed private road or whatever, and I'll try and just get a little bit. I'll see what I can do with regards to what I'm working with on the like out here. And yeah, we'll go from there, superstars. But hopefully the video is just, it's for those guys who are like me, struggling to find the right clutch and stuff like that. But yeah, okay. Okay, so what have we got? Can you hear any difference in the clutch? So that's clutch in, so you can't, there's no sort of vibrations or anything. I can't feel anything back through the pedal. Maybe in the first 500 miles when I was running it in, it was maybe a little bit more rough, but other than that, nothing. Okay, so what are we in? So we're in the slowest mode. Now this is where I wouldn't recommend you driving with this clutch in this mode, and you're going to see exactly what I mean. Just gonna, sorry, I just don't like traction control on. Okay, so I'm going to run off the, well, we'll run off of the brake. Okay, we're on a flat first gear, so I'm going to go up to what, 2 and a bit. There we go. That's your first. Okay, so that's nothing spectacular. We're going to go and change your driving mode now straight away. Okay. Okay, so now we're in intelligent. Same thing. I rode the clutch out there a little bit more because I didn't want to stall it. So I'm just going the lowest revs just to show you guys that it is drivable. You don't need to rev it. You don't need to rev it to death to set it off. Okay. You don't want to be like, I don't know, riding your clutch too much and daily you'll burn the thing out. Okay, so now we're in sport sharp, the one that I would recommend. A little bit more responsive obviously from the engine, but yeah. There we go. Okay, so now what are we gonna do? I'm gonna try and now find you guys a hill that we'll set off on. Okay, so then show you a reverse. I'd say out of all the things to do with this clutch, reversing is probably, if I could say anything was tough, it would be this, to be honest, because you have to get the RPM and then get the clutch up pretty quick before you. Yeah, but there we go. So you have to lift the clutch a little bit more aggressively, I'd say. Yeah, if there's anything, it would be the clutch being the hardest reverse, sorry, being the hardest maneuver to perform with this clutch. But other than that, it's perfectly fine. But like I say, once you get used to it, you're laughing really. And now we're going to do reverse and sport sharp. Engine, obviously, the engine's just a little bit more, what would you call it, more responsive, because it's in the sport sharp, so ignore the engine RPM going up. But
yeah, like I say, the sort of roughly the hardest maneuver to perform is with that, is reverse with the clutch, but not undrivable at all. You just have to get used to it. Okay, so yeah, this is a pretty hectic hill start. I think I'm putting more of a strain on my handbrake. It's more of a test of my handbrake. Yeah, this is a pretty hectic hill. So what are we? We're in sport sharp again, and we're off the clutch. So what are we going to do? So we'll run it off the. I'll just start it off of the handbrake and slip it, and we'll go, and hopefully I don't stall for you guys. Oops, a little bit backwards, but yeah. I just drop it a little bit because if you let it, yeah, if you try and ride it out and the RPM's too low, you'll stall it pretty quick. Okay, and then let's try and find you a straight and like somewhere quiet, and we'll just give it a bit of a pull, and then you guys can see how it holds. I mean, I could potentially, going forward, if anybody wants to, you can always ask me and I can do a more in-depth review, in a sense of like leave the camera outside and you can see if the wheels spin up or whatever it is. But we're just going to go with, now I'll try and find a nice bit of quiet road somewhere, and then yeah, we'll do a pull, and we'll get up to like 60 or something, and you'll see how well it holds. Okay, yeah, so big dogs, we're here. It's one-way road, private, so we should be okay. We're not expecting anything to come from anywhere, and we'll quickly launch for you, see what you think. Okay, sport sharp, let's go. So we're in first, everything's off. Yeah, let's try it. Yeah, so pretty impressive, huh? Not too bad, huh? I didn't know what 0 to 60 was or anything like that, but I would hazard a guess it was fast. You can see no slipping or anything like that. You got to be careful because the clutch will grip up really nicely, and you could potentially, like, let's go over, let me stop over here. It's a closed entrance. Okay, yeah, so with it, I'll describe to you, actually I'll change the camera position. Okay, so there we go. So I've taken you through hopefully all your real world examples, just really basic, just to show you that it's definitely drivable, it's perfectly fine. It takes you a couple of weeks to practice and to learn how to use it, but hooks up really nice. Okay, I don't know if I did explain it, but my car is currently 400 foot-pounds of torque, 360 brake, and the torque, like I said, is what's going to expose your clutch. And I mean, yeah, no slipping or anything yet, but like what I was describing after the acceleration videos, you've got to be, it's like pretty careful in the sense of like it just hooks up, so you will spin your, you will, I mean, I drive with no traction control on and stuff, so you'll spin your wheels and you end up staying in the same spot while your wheels are just spinning. So definitely a worthwhile upgrade for the budget and stuff like that. Yeah, 100% I'd go for it. I'd recommend it. Like I say, nobody gave it to me, bought it myself, so pretty honest review. So I'd go for it. Like, don't be scared to take the risk. I mean, yes, I haven't put tons of miles on it. That's what I can tell you now. I haven't put a lot of miles on it. But even when I took it back to the tuner, he was like, wow, you bedded in the clutch really nicely. It feels really good. Because nobody was recommending it, if that makes sense. I took the risk. And that's the worst thing about the internet, guys. There's so many polarizing reviews. And it's a blessing and a curse, really. Because there's a couple of legends on there that never really probably owned the clutch and are talking about how rubbish it is, or vice versa. So it's really hard. You do have to take the risk. It's an expensive risk to take. So if it's a budget thing, and you can like try save up and buy the twin plate, because I mean, you just pretty much always hear good things about them. But you know, you're £2,500 then, compared to I paid 700 for mine. So yeah, if you're a general normal guy and earning your average, if you're average dude, I mean, the 700 quid's still a lot of money, you know what I mean? So you're probably going to go down this route. I would, my honest opinion, that is where this is going to kill the market, in a sense of like that, this honesty. I would go with this over the pink XZE clutch all day. Like I've had it. I've had like now multiple of the normal clutches and the WRX and the STI and stuff, and I'd go this over any other clutch I've had thus far. So that's my my best advice for you. And yeah, hopefully it was good enough, and hopefully it's a quick enough video, but it's real world stuff, and hopefully it makes sense. Okay, enjoy. Thanks for subscribing, guys, and watching the videos. Just really appreciate it. It's cool. We'll make it. We'll make it one day, big ducks. So enjoy.